We are live already on Facebook. Let things set up. My Facebook will load. That's my opening sentence. I have to set it up. I have 100 of these sentences. I will definitely make a movie out of it once this project is done. Things. Okay. We're done. I'm getting better at it. The echoes are all settled. Good morning, everybody from India, and good evening from wherever we are joining in. 73rd mom, just two more moms away from 75 moms interviewed and spoken to and brought to this world with their stories all shining. 75 moms are done, and it's unbelievable. So just two more moms. We're all lined up. We're going to finish 75 moms this weekend. We have a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful mother yet again. And I just known her for a day, but I'm already so connected to her. She's been on my mind since I've spoken to her. It seems that I know her for very long, and I don't know what connection I have with Kelly. Kelly, welcome to the book, and welcome to this interview. I'm so I'm so happy that you are here, and I would like you to be introduced to the world as a very, very proud mom, and of course, Kelly. So, Kelly, go ahead. Um, let's talk about Kelly's journey till here, and then we'll move on to talking to you about you being a mom, and then the portrait project, and then henceforth from there. So, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you very much. I'm very honored to be here with you. So I first want to say thank you. And I think what you're doing with this book is absolutely incredible. And I feel honored just to be a part of it. So thank you for everything you're doing for all the moms in the world. But my name is Kelly Redmond, and I'm a mother of a 18-year-old daughter. And I was married for 20 years to a wonderful man. And then he unexpectedly passed away in 2020. So I've been journeying by myself with my 16-year-old daughter at the time, now 18. Just she and I on this journey, embracing everything and knowing full-heartedly that everything is happening to me, for me, actually, at the perfect time. I am a full-time worker. I work in home loans, so I help families get into homes. I have lots of other dreams, though, that I know now is my time because I'm literally by myself right now. So my dreams are starting to come to fruition. So my trade right now is mortgage financing, and I've loved that. But I definitely see that my journey is going to take a twist here, and I'm super excited. But being a mom is probably one of my favorite professions. And I knew from the moment I became one. I know everybody's journey as a mother is different. And I know that some mothers don't know what the heck they're doing as soon as they bring their baby home. But for me, that was the one thing that I didn't have to ask a million people for their advice on what to do with my daughter. I intuitively knew every step of the way, even today, what my daughter needs.
Right.
And so being a mother is probably one of the most rewarding positions, if you call it, that I've ever had in my lifetime. And maybe that comes from the fact that I was born with some birth defects, and I didn't think I was ever going to have any children. So for me to even have a child was a miracle in itself. So it's been a special gift for me to have been blessed with my daughter. So
I just want to talk about this particular thing, that the mother instinct creates the best possible thing, when you're aligned, as I keep saying, with the mother pulse. And I keep hearing a lot of moms. In fact, yesterday also I was talking to a mom, and she and with me as well, when both my boys were born, were like I was pregnant, both the times I had was told under 3 months that there could be a possibility of something wrong with them, and we will have to go through tests, and we'll have to do this, and and my focus was totally, the first time of course it was scary, because my focus was totally, I was going through all the tests until the time, I think in your 5th month or 5.5 month, you don't come to know whether you can go ahead or not. And even then they say that yeah, you can 98% go ahead, but we still don't know, right? Nobody knows for 2%. So of course, going with that, like my father, like first time I told, my father told me that there's going to be nothing wrong, so you just keep moving ahead. And that's the alignment. When we do that, with that, nothing goes wrong. And you definitely are a perfect example of manifesting absolutely healthy babies, because we keep thinking so many things, and when we drop it and when we start creating again, that creation can never go wrong. And that's what's happened with you. So it's an amazing thing that you move forward, you took a step without your fear, and here you are with your daughter, absolutely shining with her. And whatever I've heard of you and her, it's just very, very beautiful, I must say that. But of course, we want to talk about your upcoming project, Rooted in Love, and why are you doing that. And there are many people who will get inspired by you, Kelly. And right now, live, I know many people who will see the repeats or live, they'll be very inspired by you, why you're coming up with this project called Rooted in Love. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about Rooted in Love. It's a beautiful.
Oh, okay. So it goes back to when I was a child. Like I said, I was born with a very rare birth defect. And, it came with some characteristics that made me look a little bit differently than a lot of the other kids. So from a small baby, 13 months, I had my first corrective surgery all the way up until my first year in high school. And that is when I had my very last spinal surgery. So in my childhood, it was difficult. It was difficult because once I was in kindergarten, I then became aware that I looked a little bit differently than the other kids. I didn't know that though until I went to school, because my family didn't ever tell me that I looked different. It wasn't until I was out into the real world that people started making comments. And at that age, children are very innocent, and for the most part, they're very loving. They're just curious. In fact, kids still come up to me today and, oh, you're so short, because I'm very small stature. I'm only 4'6". So even kids today will come up to me in the store and look me up and down, and they're very curious. Is she a child or is she a mom? So when I was in kindergarten and these things started being asked of me about the way I looked, it was just out of curiosity. It wasn't cruelty. But as I got older, things changed, as we know, and kids would say things to me that were very hurtful, and things that stuck with me for years and years and years. And what happened was I grew up with low self-esteem, because I started believing all of the things that were told to me about the way I looked. I believed them because that's what we do. And when someone tells us how we look, how we're different, they make fun of us, we believe those things. And so fast forward, when I completed all of my surgeries and I was entering high school, my parents, who are lovely, I love my parents, and the doctors that I had all along were also wonderful, wonderful doctors. They had fixed me up as complete and as whole physically, structurally, my body, as it was going to get. And so my family just said, she's ready to go out into the world, she's going to start high school. But what no one knew, and what I didn't even know until years later, actually, I really didn't figure it out until fully and heal it until 2018, was that even though I was
My
physically,
Once again, Kelly, my son just fell on the light.
oh,
Okay.
that's okay.
No, he just fell. Are you okay, Shaurya?
Is he okay?
Yeah, he just fell on the light.
Yes, well, take your time.
Sorry, he was jumping around and he just fell. Okay, sorry. I think the light. Okay, my light is gone. That's okay. Sorry, I can't talk right now.
Is he okay?
Yeah. Sorry, I don't know. This is not the time to answer, sweetheart. Can you go out and ask Papa? Yeah, he is. Oh, I'm so sorry. I think the
That's
light is gone.
okay.
I tried to jump over the light. The whole light fell on him.
Oh
Um,
my goodness.
sorry. I'm sorry.
No. I was just saying that I was about ready to enter high school, and I was physically perfect, as normal as I was going to get, and off they sent me to high school. But what no one knew, and what I didn't even know at that time, and I didn't even really understand it and heal it until 2018, was that I was broken on the inside. So I appeared whole on the outside, but inside, I had all of those that hurtful chatter, as you call it, in my head. So as I entered into high school, I didn't feel good about myself. I didn't think I was enough. I felt like all of those bullying words that I had heard all those years were in my head. And so as I entered my high school years, I was broken on the inside. And as a result of that, I didn't have a very good high school experience. And even into my early adult years, I didn't make good choices. I didn't make good relationship choices because I didn't think I was good enough. And in looking back, what I feel like would have really helped, and maybe even eliminated those feelings that I had, was as I was having all of those corrective surgeries and in the hospital, if I could have had somebody alongside me, working on my inside, my self-worth, that beauty is, inside, and that I was created. I finally know now that I was put in this body for a reason. And I have a special purpose, and I know what it is. It's to walk alongside these children and their families and encourage them to know that they were created the way that they are for a special purpose. And I know a lot of times our creator is referred to as the potter, and we're the clay. And I just love that analogy that some clay is made for common use and some is made for special purpose. And that just really hit home for me. And I feel like if I had known that growing up, and been taught about self-worth and self-love, that's why I want to call it rooted in love, because we're all rooted in love. We are love. You're love and I am love. And I want these children to know that as they're going through these processes in the hospital, I want to work alongside them on their minds and the power of their thoughts, and help them with their self-worth, so that by the time they get done with their medical procedures, that inside they're going to love themselves. And I know what processes I took myself through when my spiritual journey started in 2018, and I started healing all of those things and replaying, actually rewiring, going back and looking at those hurtful situations and changing them. We have the ability to do that. And I want to be able to walk alongside these children and show them that way, if at that point they've had those same chatter that I had as a child. I can just visualize myself doing it. I have plans of exactly how I want it to look like, and I can just see the parents. I can just see the parents being so grateful that they're seeing a little light shine in their child again. A child in a hospital that's having a hard time. I'm gonna be with them, and it's going to change them, because I'm going to turn on that little light inside of them so they can shine. I know I can do it because I know what I needed, and I didn't know I needed it at the time. So I must stress again that it was no one's fault. I had lovely parents and lovely doctors. It took all of these years for me to figure out why I ended up in bad relationships and I made bad choices. And I did that because I didn't think I was enough, because that's what I had been told all through grammar school and then in high school. And I know that even children with no physical deformities have problems with loving themselves. They're always comparing themselves to their friends and their body shapes and their hair, even the clothes that they wear. I spoke at my daughter's in her physiology class about this gene. If I spoke, she didn't have to take one of the finals. And so, of course, she was all over that. So she asked me if I would, my daughter asked me if I would speak in her class, and I was honored to do that. And I was able to explain to the classroom about the birth defect, but then also tie it into how they were all feeling. They might not have birth defects, but some of them have larger hips than others. Some of them are shorter, some of them are taller. It's just all about appearance at that age. And another thing that I realized is my daughter is a true gift to me because, like I said in the beginning, when I had her, I didn't have to ask anybody any questions. I just knew how to be her mother. I can't explain it. I wasn't one of those mothers that needed a book, or I didn't need to ask everybody a bunch of questions. I just intuitively knew what my daughter needed until she became a teenager. And when she became a teenager, that's when my problems started. And that's when this all surfaced. I realized that when she became a teenager, I was so fearful for her that she was going to have make some of the choices that I made as a teenager. And that's when and ironically, I mean, the universe and God, everything is in such perfect timing. That is when my journey began of really healing, so that I could then parent her as a mom of a teen in a healthy way. And now she's in college and is just flourishing. Um, and so I say this very humbly. I know I've done a good job with her, and I don't think I could have done as good of a job with my daughter had I not gone through all of the trials that I went through. And I want to help other children know that they're also rooted in love and they have a special purpose, regardless of how they look. And I'm so passionate about doing that because I know, well, actually, I know that I'll have opportunities. I just know that medical professionals will want me to come speak to them. I've already been asked to speak at the UC Davis Med Center here in California, because the medical students there, they're learning out of books, and they said we really would like to have a speaker come in and talk about the patient experience with these med students that are going to become doctors. And so I just really know that my project is going to be needed, and it's going to be beautiful. It's
Yeah,
going to be a beautiful thing.
I'm going to just like, there are people in comments. Debbie is there supporting us. Sarah is there. Bhavneeta there. These are all mums. Debbie is our pillar. And as I mentioned, that you've been on my mind because since I've spoken to you, uh, like, of course, every interview teaches me something and it takes me to next level. But since I've spoken to you, there's something that's like just surrounded me in this whole thing. And the fact that, as you keep mentioning as well, that your parents loved you and everything was very loving, but yet broken inside, uh, right? And when we're trying to view, like from our side, we're trying to do everything and we think we are being very loving, but just ignoring the inside of ours and what's happening, is what we are doing to our children's, is supportive or not so supportive, or is it the support that they need? I think these kinds of conversation must be had by all children. Like we must talk to them about the support they need rather than the thing we think that support we are trying to provide. And hence, like as you mentioned to me and you said that I was physically being corrected but mentally totally broken, like internally I was totally broken. And which led to many steps for you, and of course experiences, and you've become this human being, and you've aligned and you've connected that all that happened so that I could become this. And I absolutely believe in that, because somebody like you really needs to be out there to take this message out, because many are still physically correcting everybody they love, you know and maybe including me. Like maybe it's making me think when I'm raising my children, that am I giving them the support they need or the support they want, right? And both can be true. Like sometimes we parents think that this is what they need and they don't know what they need, and there's something else that they want, and that's the conversation we must start. And you bringing it straight to them as a program, and introducing it and becoming that bridge between a child's heart and a parent, is so needed, Kelly. It's so needed. And your story is so inspirational because you've done it. Like nothing stopped you. Nothing stopped you to reach where you've reached. And I think your daughter, I have a feeling, is going to multiply this message even more. I don't know why I feel that. She is going to reach, not as a pressure on her, but I think the more you keep doing this work and she sees her mom shine, she is going to take this message ahead many folds, and you will not be alone taking this message, and you'll start. I will do it for sure. That I since yesterday I spoke to you and I told you, and today as well in this live I'm saying that whatever your message is and whatever help you need here in India, within my premises, I can do. I will take it there because this is so needed. I'm not the same person since I've spoken to you yesterday. Like I'm actually holding you the whole day in my mind, in my heart, and I've been walking and thinking because so needed, so needed, and that's why I totally support you. There's Debbie saying I feel that too. It will end up being a mother-daughter message. Yes, I feel that. I feel that totally. Sarah is saying I love your vision and your passion is so beautiful and needed. Um,
Um,
and um, and the other
I feel like, excuse me, I feel like I'm also making a generational change for my daughter. Like I said, I have a wonderful, wonderful mother, and I know that she did the best she could with the tools that she had. But what happened to me is some of and again, I'm calling it birth defects, but for a child that is, has no physical handicaps of any kind, there's other things. It's like I said, it's their hips are bigger, they're too tall, their legs are skinny, their hair is thin, whatever it is, whatever that is causing them to feel less than. It I was taught to cover it up and to hide it. Don't talk about it. If anybody says anything to you about it, just ignore them. And that's where the conversation ended. And again, it's because those are the tools that the people that were raising me had, and I love them. They taught me some wonderful things. I will treasure them forever. But what I've done differently with my daughter is we don't hide anything, because when you bring it to the surface, it empowers you. So if in fact, I was just amazed when she wanted me to talk at her school about my birth defect. I mean, I feel like that in itself was a huge accomplishment, because she's not shameful or embarrassed of how I may look a little different than her friends' parents. And so I've already made that little generational change where, when my mom found out that I was going to speak in her class, it was very disturbing for her. She just didn't think it was a good idea. And it was all coming from a mama bear protection place. I know she didn't want me to go up and talk about something that made me feel different, because all my life I was told to hide it and to not bring it up and don't talk about it. So for me to tell her I'm going to go up in front of all of her friends and I'm going to talk about this, and it was physiology, so I had to talk about the scientific part of it. But like I said, I tied it into that. But I mean, that's the other thing that I want to teach people, is not to hide things. This is who I am, and this is who I was created to be. And I'm finally understanding, like I said before, why I was put in this body. And I wouldn't have wanted it any other way now, because I wouldn't have been able to parent my daughter the way that I did had I not been born this way. So it's like I feel like I saved her from so much pain because I went through it and I could watch it. I have such good intuition. The other thing with moms is you need to be present with your girls. You need to be present with your boys. But I just know from my experience, you need to be there as much as they need you to be there. There are going to probably be some children that are fine, and then there are going to be other children that need a lot of that talking. And I think that me being a present mom was such a beautiful thing, and it enabled me to guide her and just gently put her back on track when I could see that she was getting off, because I know how I got off and I know exactly what that looks like. So as soon as I saw it happening, I was able to gently guide her back. And those are the conversations that I would like to have with all these children.
Yes.
I see myself, even my Rooted in Love project could even be speaking at schools like I
Oh,
did.
absolutely. Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely. One of the students came up to me afterwards and she said, I feel like I just, listening to you, I feel like I just got spiritually cleansed. So I know it will work. I know it will touch kids. I know that they will hear me, and I know that I can help them. And
Yes.
I wish that there was someone like that for me at that time, but they're just, like I said, I didn't even know I needed that at the time. I didn't know it
Exactly.
till years
I
later.
like to just mention that everything was placed, like I also keep saying, everything was placed. You did not have anybody because you had to help many, many people ahead of your time to understand it. Somebody had to understand it from an internal experience and then talk about it. Like, and when you're talking about this speaking, so I have an older brother who's 6 years difference, and my mom was schizophrenic, and of course there was some violence, and then she was taken away when we were 6 because we had a big joint family, and a lot of chaos was coming up for the entire family, and the new kids were getting scared of all the experiences. So like they had to take her away from us, and we stayed back. And I was a very, very silent kid, not this chatter shikha that you see today. I was a very, very quiet kid, and I moved forward with not speaking, and always being very shy, and so did my brother. Like both of us did, but of course he was 6 years ahead of me. His ability to remember what was happening and longer exposure to all that was something that made him a very closed person. And by the time I was 9 or 10 years old, and my dad was very busy with raising the family, and he was like the grandfather of the family, so he had many family issues, plus, of course, earning. And at that time, my uncle I was very close to him, and he used to help me, uplift me, the talking part you're talking about, but I still didn't. And one fine day, the psychologist who my dad's friends told my dad that, you know, your older one, he's already hitting the teens. I don't know whether you can bring him back to any kind of correction right now, because he's reached that point where he's made his decisions and he knows how he wants to go ahead, and it will take a lot of time and a lot of effort. But this girl is still young. You can still save her from where she's going in and what decisions she's making. And that was the day, Kelly, my dad made a decision that it's enough. And every day, my dad would sit with me and have a conversation. I couldn't speak English in India. I would come back and I would say, "Hey, Dad, I'm so embarrassed. I can't even speak English, and all these people keep speaking English." And he would like, "Fine, let's go." And so he decided that every single day we will be talking in English, and if you go wrong and people make fun of you or they bully you because you're speaking the wrong English, we'll just go ahead and say fine. Like you can laugh with them, and then ask them what the right thing is, so that the next time you don't make that mistake. So he gave me that courage at the age of 9 that it's okay. I mean, you laugh with them, because if you've spoken the wrong way and they're laughing, first of all, it makes them quiet, right? So it makes
Mhm.
quiet because you start laughing as well. And the minute you start
Right.
laughing, then ask them what the right thing is, so that the next time you don't make it. Or come to me and say what's the right thing, and we will work together. And of course, he worked very hard. He left all his work to making me like I'm the only photographer in my family. Everybody went into business, very focused, academic. I was not doing well academically. The reason I'm telling this story is that I ended up becoming India's first baby and child photographer, the only child who was being covered by newspapers and big magazines, etc. And many people told my dad that, in India, there's like photographer, what will she become? And she wants to choose baby and child photography. Nobody's even heard of it 20 years back here. Like, what are you talking about? Where are you putting her? You're totally wrong. And Holly kept on saying, "Do you want it?" I said, "Yes." "Do you really want to do it?" "Yes." And he always said yes to things. And the reason I'm bringing this out today is because you're going to be working with children at the places that I would go to and say that I'm going here. And he would just go find out from his friends. He's like, "Oh my God, this is a dangerous place she's going in." And like one of his cop friends said, "Oh, where your daughter is going to shoot right now is all criminals reside there. We have a lot of encounters there, so don't let her go there." And my father, Kelly, at that time said, "Well, she's decided that she wants to go and shoot the elephants, because the elephants were there, and I had to do a story on elephants, and it was near the river in India. And he said, I will go with her. She's not going to stop. She will not stop. And I remember he's like, can I like take one of your cops with me if there is some problem? And we requested. And you know, this father of mine just quietly allowed this 18, 19-year-old to go to these dangerous places where he could be with me. He would just drop his work and come with me. But he never stopped me. It was always a yes. And today I'm a parent. I do say no to my children. And then I go back to my father and I'm like, how have you allowed me to, like, just saying yes to everything? Like, what kind of a parenting? It worked beautifully with me, but it's very difficult to keep saying yes, you're right, let's go ahead, I trust you. It's a very tough parenting to do, you know. And what do you think about that? And my father has done that to me. I am lacking it, honestly speaking. As a mom, I still say no, don't do that, or don't do this, and I go back to my dad like, I have never heard you say no. And that's why no matter what I do, he always says, yes, go ahead. I think you're right. And it's made me see such beautiful and some really unbelievably shocking things as well in life. But all done with the support of a father who said, I'm with you. Nothing will happen. Go ahead. And doing that to a girl in a joint family in India was very unheard of 20 years back. It was a very unheard
Wow.
kind of parenting 20 years back. And everybody kept on saying that, you know, she doesn't have a mother and people will blame you if something goes wrong. So you behave yourself. People will just keep telling him that, you know, if something goes wrong, they will say, see what happened, he overdid it, right? And he's like,
Oh,
nothing will happen, she'll be fine, and I'm fine. And so that's what I'm hearing when you're saying about that, the fact that somebody needs to keep saying yes, go ahead, what you're feeling, it's okay, like go ahead, we are there,
yes,
do it, you know. So
yes,
I totally, the story came out because I could feel my father, like, which is a like my, I consider my father my soulmate, and I could just feel him when you were talking, and I could feel his spirit with many, many children that need somebody like you or my dad to say, go on, it's okay, you're fine, it's all fine, you know. And that's what makes me little emotional, and I'm literally been in tears since yesterday thinking about you, Kelly. So where do you want to take this project from there? Like, how do you want to start it? I know you're still in the process of doing it. What is the support this community can give you? Are you going to start a page which we can support you in? Are you going to start something that we can share? Because it's really resonating with me. This is really resonating. This needs to be done at my personal level also to support you. What can we do, Kelly?
oh boy, let me think. Since the time is now for me, and it literally just became now because my husband passed away and my daughter's off to college. So it's literally my time. So I'm just beginning this right now. I feel like my audience is ranges. It ranges from the children in the hospitals to the parents of the children's to the medical professionals. Because I've already been asked, like I said, once to speak at the UC Davis Med Center. I know who my audiences are. I feel like I just need to get my curriculum together and then just start presenting it. And I think my opportunities will come. So I'll give some thought of how you can support me. Just maybe hold space for me.
You're already here. We have so much. Look at Debbie, look at Vilma, look at everybody already holding you, Kelly. All of us are going to hold you really, really strong. We're already there. That's happened. Uh, um,
Thank you. I love all of you. I love all of you for that. And I'm also trusting in my higher power that the things will come to me that I need for this to take off. I know it's going to take off. I don't know all of the hows yet, but I know down here that it's going to, and I see myself doing it. So it's early in the project, but I think that it's going to be. I think it's just going to blast off, though. I think it's just going to take off very quickly once I take my first step, which I feel, like I'm starting to take the baby steps now. I just have to get my curriculum down and then present it to my audiences, and I think from there. I see myself at schools, at foster. I see myself even at shelters. I volunteered at women and children's shelters. There's children there that need to hear this, especially, they're in shelters because they came from broken homes. And I think that those children, I think there's so many audiences that I can speak this to. Like I said, ranging from hospitals to schools. I'm
Absolutely.
so excited. I'm so excited to
I'm so
do it.
excited for you as well. I'm so excited for you as well. And I know that it's already started, Kelly. It started today. The project like has started today, and many things are going to come to you, and the support will be there. It's totally needed because your heart is really needed, and I know whatever you went through, this is why you went through it. You're right about that. You're totally right.
I am. I know that. I know that. I finally know that. And even though it was hard,
Yes,
I wouldn't have wanted it now that I went through it all and I raised my daughter. I wouldn't want it any other way. I
yes,
wouldn't want it any other way because I wouldn't have been able to be the mom that I was or am if I hadn't gone through all of that. So I'm I can actually say that I'm glad I went through all of that because now I can help others
right, right.
and I can even help like the kids and the parents too. I mean, I know that the parents probably don't know what to do, what to say, how to help.
Right,
And I can be there.
right. Rooted in Love project. It's
Well,
unbelievable.
rooted, yeah, rooted in love. And I picked that because we're all love. I feel like I'm love, you are love. We were created to be magnificent. And it's all inside of us. Each one of us has this power to be magnificent. And regardless of what you look on the outside, it's all on the inside. And so when I say rooted in love, because we are all rooted in love. And
And when you say that it's all inside, people know it. Like here, people know it here. But when it comes to somebody who's lived it, and when she says it, it makes even more sense. And that's why some of us have to go through it to get the inner experience out, and tell the world what's it about, right? Because I think all of us have heard it. It's not about beauty. It's not about image. It's not about like uh, like everything about parenting. Like we've heard it, and it's difficult to sometime internalize. Like right now, all my light system has fallen right in the middle of the interview, correct? And then like there was like thank God my computer didn't fall because my son was looking for his Lego. Now ideally, it immediately triggers a reaction to you. But when you become conscious and when you become this, and you align, which I say to the mother pulse or to somebody you get inspired, which would be you or my father, I would be like, my first reaction was after he was okay, what would they do or what would the mother pulse do? They say, he did it in an innocent way. It's all right. Nothing is broken, nothing is gone. Everything is still okay. It's just the light that's gone. And even if interviews, so with these interviews, also I'm trying to bring that out. It's a simple way of bringing it out that it's okay if our children are around. What is so serious that we will pin them down and say, out from here? We can, of course, request them, say, not the right time, we can't do it. But like this whole online world also, Kelly, is bringing what you're talking about. We're not understanding what they are going through because they are being taken away. India has been locked down, no schools for 2 years. They're restless. And then all of us like are going online and we have these so-called important meetings, and if somebody comes, like a child comes in, we break them even with our words, and we say that don't come in, you've not understood, this is right, this is wrong, we are embarrassed, it was a Zoom, there were 100 people on the Zoom and you're embarrassed. And even this in today's time is hurting people, like hurting these kids. And I would urge you to even incorporate that. Like we're not understanding what's the damage that this being online is doing to these children. So from ranging from somebody who's having a physical disability to somebody who's even struggling with COVID sitting at home, and this whole thing between parents and children that is going on should also come in, because that's the new world. That's the new world where this child does not know where to express, how to express, because everything has been taken away
Mhm.
from what they're meant to be. And I have really young kids, and like I have to consciously tell myself they are restless, and like this is okay. Like they don't have to be disciplined or be this thing, because what was like 50 people a day. When he went to school, he met at least 50 people and 50 different interaction, has all come down to his mom today or his dad sitting at home. And if I take that away also in the name of my work, my project, my things, yeah, it's breaking children down internally, the heart that you're talking about. So outside they're looking all okay, but I can see that even happening to children during COVID times. So I think
Hmm.
that must be spoken about through your project, because that rooted in love needs to come back to parents sitting at home with lockdowns. I don't know where the future is going, how, what all they will have to adjust to. And um, through this platform, I'm urging that we must bring that out, because my heart goes for all these kids, including mine, but all the kids who are locked down and are being told this is it. Adjust to the online. You have no other option. Stop it. Like, that's it. 6 hours of online is a must because I have work to do and you will be off. I mean, I'm very confused with, and Melanie should be here as well. And they're talking about visionary parenting. So you'll get many, many parents here who are talking about parents and collaborations where people can help you to move forward here. So I just wanted to
Yeah,
set up.
yeah, you make a very, very good point there for sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I've been, it's another thing which's been in my heart, and I want to bring it out through this movement about what's happening to children in COVID. Every single day and every single minute, a lot of them are breaking down, and they have no way to express it, no friends as well, to go and say, hey, my mom did this to me. Like, there's no, there's no way out. It's
There's
only
no outlet, right?
this
Hmm.
outlet, and I don't know what the repercussions would be if they don't uh, get to express, to climb trees, to fall, to fight, to do whatever. It's
Yeah,
really,
all of the social interactions.
and it's
Yeah, there's definitely going to be an effect,
yes,
I
yes,
think, on these children that have been in.
yes,
Hmm.
and
I mean, even colleges, the kids that, well, all the ages, the
yes,
little ones to the ones in junior high to the ones in high school, and now
yes,
the ones that are in college that are doing college online.
yes.
Well, what kind of experience is that? They
And when
went
I say
from,
free, they're all like sitting down with, even at the age of 18, with their parents, like talking to them at, like, I know, and I mean, it's tough. It's very, very tough what's happening, and we must, rooted to love project. We should get that part out as well in your curriculum to bring it.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's something that I'll have to let that sit with me, but you make a very good point.
I'm a mom.
Very good.
I'm a mom of young kids who's dealing with. You're a mom. That's why you understand what it is, because it's also become a mom problem. Even if we don't want to, as you said, that our parents have the right intention. Even if we don't want to, we're still damaging them unknowingly, and maybe it shows up all later, and it would be too late.
Hmm. Yes, yes. And I know that when during COVID, my daughter was in high school, but it was difficult in a different way, because she was, in high school, plus she was lost her father,
Right.
and then COVID started 2 months after, and I know that it has had an effect on her. I can say that probably you definitely need to up your communication with your kids. That's what I think during these times. You know, check in on them a lot.
Yes.
And I know you have small kids, but you can still have that conversation. How are you today? I mean, it can be as simple as it needs to be for the age appropriate child, but I think definitely increase the communication and ask often, how are you?
Yeah.
Because
I'll tell you a very touching thing that my son said. And as a mother, you like probably will resonate, and many mothers will resonate. And of course, having a young child and sleepless nights and physically being tired, sometimes you do say things that you regret. You like, why did I say that? Even in a haste. And I said something to my son, and he came to me. He's like, "Where's my mom gone? Who was in Bangalore before we had COVID? She's just gone somewhere." And I was just like, "Oh my God!" Like, that's like at the age of 8, he's saying that. Where's my mom? Like, while crying, of course. And I just hugged him, and I'm like, "I'm so sorry. She's very much here." And that statement also made me feel that, like, yes, we mothers also don't know where we are going. Like we can't hear them anymore because it is a lot to handle for a mom as well sitting at home. And
Oh, absolutely.
naturally, children definitely naturally head towards the mother when the mother is sitting at home all the time. You know, when she's working and the dad is working, they naturally, some hurt happens. The first thing they come to their mother. So
It's
the
to the
mother
mother.
who was going out to work with her break and everything now has children all the time, and we have to be even. So we have to take care of ourselves. We have to keep upping our whole thing so that we can take care of them. That's the message I can say, that I have to take.
Absolutely. Yeah. You have to, yeah, fill your cup so you have something to give to others. And that's so important.
It is
It's so important. Otherwise we can't help them if we're not full ourselves.
right.
You know, and that's something that we have to constantly remind ourselves, because as mothers, it's always give, 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 give. But we really need to start with ourselves
Right.
so that we have quality.
Yes,
Um,
and I'm glad you're here. Of course, we can go on and on. It's become a long interview, and people will be seeing replays. I want them to see it till the end, but we will have opportunities to talk about self-portrait, how to come out of it, how to not come out with your story. You'll be in the group. We'll have many opportunities, Kelly. I'm totally grateful that you have reached a point where there's going to be turning points for many people ahead through you. So thank you for that. Thank you
thank
for
you.
the decision.
Thank you. I'm excited about it.
Yes, and thank you so much. And I shall go off live. Debbie, thank you so much. Lots of love to you for all this supporting. And Wilma, it's late in the night for many of them. Sarah, thank you so much. Bhavni, thank you so much for coming in. Um, so we shall go off, and I shall start the day with a lot of thought that has been since yesterday with me, but I will take more. So thank you for gifting me this, and thank you for being part of this book. We shall go ahead and create many great things together, Kelly. So
Thank you, Shika. Thank you for everything that you're doing too. You're a blessing. You are a blessing to the world in what you are doing.
thank
It's
you.
absolutely incredible. And I've never been a part of anything like this. And I can't stop talking about it. You're a true blessing to the world.
Thank you so much. I feel like that's a hug to me, and I really needed it a lot of times in the day. Yes, this project is, is becoming intense and big, but as a mother, as so much happening, your words do feel like a hug. So I definitely needed that. Thank you so much. And I will go offline, but you stay back. Thank you,
Okay.
everybody, and